Consider this, your bookshelf. Right now it's probably a very tidy, very respectable place where books go to rest. They might be organized by author, by color, or maybe by size. It looks nice, sure. But is it helping you think? Is it challenging your brain? An ordinary bookshelf is like a library's storage room. It holds information, but it doesn't necessarily help you connect it. The books just sit there, silent and separate. They don't talk to each other. We're going to change that. We're going to build something much more powerful, something that turns your collection of books into a dynamic thinking tool. It's science. Let's talk about a syntopic bookshelf. The word syntopic sounds fancy, but it just means bringing different topics together to create a new, bigger idea. Instead of just storing books, a syntopic bookshelf is designed to make you see patterns and connections you'd otherwise miss. It's a physical representation of an intellectual conversation. Imagine a book about astrophysics sitting next to a book on ancient philosophy. On a normal shelf, they're just neighbors. On a syntopic shelf, they are part of a dialogue about the universe and our place in it. This active, curated space turns passive reading into an active, brain-boosting investigation. The goal here is not just to be a collector of information, but an architect of understanding. Think of it like building with Lego bricks. You can have a big pile of bricks, which is cool, but the real magic happens when you start snapping them together to build a spaceship or a castle. Your books are the bricks. A syntopic bookshelf is the instruction manual and the creative space all in one. It prompts you to ask, how does this idea from biology connect to that concept in economics? It nudges your brain to work a little harder, to stretch, and to grow in fascinating new ways. So why does this matter so much? In our world, information is everywhere, flying at us from all directions. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. A syntopic bookshelf helps you filter the noise and focus on what truly sparks your curiosity. It's a personal laboratory for your mind, a place where you can explore the biggest questions you have about life, the universe, and everything in between. By arranging your world of knowledge in a deliberate way, you're not just organizing paper and ink, you are actively shaping the way you think, learn, and see the world. Let's get building. First things first, you need a big question, or maybe a few. These are your inquiry zones. Don't just pick a subject like history. Instead, ask something that genuinely makes you wonder. For example, instead of biology you could ask, what does it mean to be alive? Or instead of business you could try, how do we create things of lasting value? These questions are the engines of your bookshelf. They give you a purpose. Write them down on a note card and stick them right on the shelf. This is your mission, your North Star for learning. It's a wonderfully scientific way to approach your own curiosity. Now that you have your question, it's time to gather your team of thinkers, your books. For any single inquiry zone, aim to find at least 3 different perspectives. If your question is about learning, don't just grab 3 books on educational psychology. Find one on how kids learn, like Maria Montessori's work. Then, find one on how machines learn, like a book on artificial intelligence. And finally, add a book about how societies learn and forget, perhaps a history book about a lost civilization. This variety is crucial because it forces your brain to look at the same problem from completely different angles, which is where true innovation comes from. Don't limit yourself to just traditional books either. Your brain loves variety. A syntopic bookshelf can and should include more than just dense nonfiction. Add a novel that explores your theme. Include a book of poetry that touches on the feeling of your question. Print out a scientific paper, a beautiful photograph, an old map, or even a transcript of a podcast. These different formats engage different parts of your brain. A picture can convey an emotional truth that 1,000 words of text might miss. This mixture makes your inquiry zone richer, more textured, and a lot more fun to explore. Finally, think about how you will physically organize these clusters. This is where the magic really starts to happen. You can use a dedicated shelf for each inquiry zone, or if you have less space, you can use color coding. Assign a color to each of your big questions. For example, everything related to your time question gets a small blue sticker on its spine. Everything related to creativity gets a yellow one. This simple visual cue allows you to see your themes at a glance, scattered across your entire collection. It's a beautiful, visible map of your intellectual interests. Every good inquiry zone needs a solid foundation. This is your anchor book. An anchor book is a central, foundational text for your chosen theme. For a cluster on learning, your anchor might be Make It Stick, The Science of Successful Learning. This book serves as the core text that you will constantly return to. It's the sun, and your other books are the planets orbiting it. When you read other books in the cluster, you'll always be asking, How does this support or challenge the main ideas in my anchor book? This creates a focused, structured conversation between your sources. Next, you need to build connections. That's where bridge books come in. A bridge book is a text that connects two different inquiry zones. Let's say you have one cluster on biology and another on technology. A fantastic bridge book would be something like The Gene and Intimate History, which connects the biological world of genetics with the technological world of genetic engineering. These bridges are incredibly important. They prevent your themes from becoming isolated islands of knowledge and help you build a web of interconnected understanding. They are the pathways that allow for those amazing aha moments. Now for the fun part, start an argument. On your bookshelf, of course. For every theme, you should intentionally include books that disagree with each other. These are your tension books. If your anchor book on economics argues for free market capitalism, place a book right next to it that critiques capitalism and proposes an alternative. This creates a healthy intellectual debate right on your shelf. You don't have to personally agree with every book you own. The goal is to understand different viewpoints deeply. Engaging with ideas you disagree with is one of the best exercises for your brain. It builds mental flexibility and critical thinking. To keep your mind sharp and your learning fresh, rotate your focus. You don't have to tackle all your big questions at once. Choose 1 or 2 inquiry zones to be your main focus for a season, maybe for 3 months. During that time, actively read from those clusters. Take notes, think about the connections. Then, at the end of the season, switch your focus to a different cluster. This keeps the process from feeling overwhelming and ensures you are always exploring something new. Your bookshelf becomes a living, evolving organism, just like your brain. So, what's the real payoff for all this work? It's not just about having a cool-looking bookshelf, it's about what happens inside your head. When you build a Syntopic bookshelf, you are literally rewiring your brain for better thinking. One of the first benefits you'll notice is improved memory. By physically clustering books around a theme and using visual cues like colors or labels, you are creating multiple pathways to that information in your brain. You're not just remembering the content of a single book, you're remembering it in context, as part of a larger conversation. This web of connections makes recall faster and more reliable. Beyond just memory, you'll become a pattern recognition machine. The world is full of complex systems, and the ability to spot hidden patterns is a superpower. A Syntopic bookshelf trains you to do exactly that. When you constantly expose your brain to different perspectives on the same core idea, you start to see the underlying principles that connect seemingly unrelated fields. You might notice that the feedback loops that govern ecosystems in biology look a lot like the feedback loops that drive market trends in economics. This cross-disciplinary thinking is the heart of creativity and problem-solving. This process leads to a much deeper level of understanding. There's a difference between knowing a fact and truly understanding a concept. Knowing is memorizing the definition of gravity. Understanding is being able to explain how it influences a planet's orbit, a plant's growth, and an engineer's design for a bridge. A Syntopic bookshelf moves you from knowing to understanding by forcing you to synthesize information. You have to actively weigh different arguments, resolve contradictions, and build your own mental model of how things work. Your knowledge becomes more robust, flexible, and useful. Ultimately, building a Syntopic bookshelf is about more than just learning things. It's about building a better mind. You are creating a personalized intellectual gymnasium where you can exercise your curiosity, strengthen your critical thinking, and expand your perspective. It's a lifelong project that grows with you. The questions you ask today will lead to new books and new insights tomorrow. So don't just collect books, curate conversations, don't just build a shelf, build a mind. The world is full of wonders, go figure it out.